Hey everyone, I'm Paul Miss Cleveland, living in the city of Cleveland, state of Cleveland, and the United States of Cleveland. Well, June's officially over, and yeah, June's over. But pretty soon we're gonna go to July, which means Indie Day or ID4 Independence Day, whatever you want to call it. I got several crows somewhere, but we're not doing movie signs. Sorry, guys. Oh. Where the hell can I put these guys up? Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Today's episode. I'm gonna turn this not to the left, to the left, a little to the no, then no. Well, doesn't matter. My shirt's not shown, so yeah. Today I'm going to tell you about Chicago's debut album called the Chicago Transit Authority. Now, there's a story about this for the band as well as ours. Well, it all started with now Chicago actually made the album after the let's see, bear with me, folks. Let's see if this is working. Oh, here we go. Now, the story about this album, it's Chicago's debut album. Okay, it's all working, folks. Okay, it's all working. This is why I don't want to do the solo. But yeah, what can I say? So the band is named after the Chicago Transit Authority, which is mayor of Chicago back then. Mayor Daley. Did I get that right? I know somebody who lived in Chicago for a while. My ex-boss. I hope you're watching this, Dave. If you are, just tell me or something like that, because I think it was Mayor Daley, and yeah, he said to not call the band Chicago Transit Authority because one of the members, I believe, actually rode the bus a lot, as well as the elevated trains, which is yeah, I actually see that in Perfect Strangers and Bob Newhart show. And here's our story. Somebody, I'm going to give her an alias name because Lisa Giuseppe. She gave us this album, the Chicago Transit Authority. I wanted to listen to it, but unfortunately, it was still in its wrapping. So if there's like another Great Depression, which is possible because the way things are, and we don't have any money, I'll sell it. I could probably get around 70, $80 out of it. So yeah, I know that, but yeah. Every time you think about Lisa Giuseppe, I just think of, you don't make fun of me, because I still make out myself, or my stepfather. And can you throw some macaroni on me? Oh, that might be one of my few album cover episodes. I might do Adam Sandler. Oh, what are you happy to me? Okay. But we're talking about the Chicago's debut album, which is a fantastic album, in my opinion. And also, let's go track to track from the Chicago one, which is called Witty Banter. What the hell's going on with this computer? It's like I don't know, but yeah. So it's now known as Chicago 1 because, you know, another year is called Chicago 2, which came out in around 1970, which is the first few Chicago albums actually kind of lean towards being avant-garde, jazz, and yeah, it's a good album. And in some ways, it is a double album. Now you can actually get the CD. Like, well, actually, I got CD once after Lisa gave us the album, Lisa Giuseppe. And then she stepped on a UFO and she was on it for 2.5 years. I heard she has a Neil Diamond tattoo, but yeah. And or she's out with yeah with Joshua, but yeah, let's go with the listing. And the first song is Introduction, which is written by the guitarist Terry Kath, which Jimi Hendrix even praised, and I'll mention that a little bit later. But it's kind of got good jazz movements, and then there's like an instrumental break, which then there's like this slow interlude in the break, which actually has a good trumpet solo and piano in it. So it's like, yeah. Number 2 is their first signature song. Well, actually, maybe not their first hit, but does anybody really know what time it is? And it's got a great piano introduction, and then you hear the brass and some like another good trumpet movement. And then you have Beginnings, which is another by Lamb, who's a keyboard player. And he was the only one in the original lineup that was not from Chicago. He was from Brooklyn. But, Blood, Sweat, and Tears were starting to become popular. I don't know if the Ides of March was from New York City, but I don't know. Brass rock or jazz rock was starting to become big at the time. But, yeah, this is like the first string of jazz rock. But kind of got some good acoustic guitar and brass movements as well as Latin percussion. And let's see. I'm kind of looking at the yeah, so that's side 1 of album 1, but the side 2 of album 1 is questions 67 to 68. Written, actually sung by Peter Cetera, the bass player, who would later leave Chicago like around over a decade later after the release of this. Actually, 15 years after the first album. It was only because he wanted to do solo work as well. He wanted to do what Phil Collins did in the 80s, but his company would not let him do it. So he had to leave. I kind of wish Peter Cetera would come back to Chicago. He probably would bring some new things to the table. Because it would be interesting if Cetera would come back to Chicago and sing that duet with Amy Grant, Next Time I Fall in Love. And I don't know who they get the lady singer for, but yeah, question 6768, another good song with great horn, piano, and guitar work on that. Listen, the dreaded L word. Well, to me it is, because I hate that word listen. I'm sorry, folks, but you heard it here, folks. Well, two people at least. It's called Listen. It's a great jam song, a little bit. And yeah, I mentioned Peter Cetera playing as a bass player. He does great bass work on this. And the next song is Poem 58, which is it starts off with this jam kind of session thing. And it's basically, how can I say this? Guitar, bass, and drums, and then it goes into somewhat like uh, funkish feel. Terry Kath played some wow, that would have been interesting, but yeah, Poem 58, and that's actually side one of the first Chicago album. Now, this is where we're going to take the break, because I hope you're all enjoying this episode, both of you, because both of you. But so this week our top 16 will be, since the whole Christmas in July thing, I'm gonna say the 16 reasons why Christmas eats, and unfortunately I can't use the Bob Rivers songs, the 12 Pains of Christmas. Hey Rivers, I beat you to the punch a little more, so I have 4 more Pains of Christmas. But yeah. The other thing is, and I was going to do Independence Day, but since my life eats as well, I'm going to review my favorite Jim Carrey movie of all time. Bruce Almighty, my will be done. And no, it's not about Bruce Springsteen, so you don't have to worry about that, Mark. So I don't know if you want to do the review or not, but yeah, we'll have more shows coming up on the Warner Brothers Broadcasting Network, and I hope we get the Warner Brothers Sports Show back again, as well as others. So click, like, subscribe, even get notified. Okay, the song that's on the second album of this great album. It, like, again, when it was on CD, it was only one CD. That's it. So, the hell? Oh, okay. Yeah. There'll be a lot of skips on this, people. I'm not a professional. I'm hoping one day I can get some professional stuff. Free from Guitar, which is just Terry Kath experimenting with the electric guitar. I think Jimi Hendrix heard this song, and he was like, wow. That's why Jimi Hendrix loved Terry Kath's music. Unfortunately, he died from cleaning one of his guns, which is really sad. The 8th song is Southern California Purples, which doesn't mean much, and it's like another Robert Lamb song, but he even uses the "I am the walrus" line. I am he's, you are he's, we are he's, they are she's, he's a she, she's a he. Yeah, but and the 9th song is actually called "I'm a Man," which is I think this is only one of the few Chicago covers out there, because, and the cover of this is basically called I'm a Man, which was originally done by the Spencer Davis Group, but Chicago made it kind of their own in a way. And it basically is another great song. So I don't know how Steve Winwood thought about that version of I'm a Man. I wouldn't be surprised if Doobie Brothers kind of took some of that song, I'm a Man, both versions, and made Long Train Running. You'd be surprised how you can actually combine those songs together if you want to. Long Train Running, I'm a Man. But the 10th song is Prologue, which is August 29th, 1968. That was when the Democratic National Convention in Chicago happened. And with the world's infamous chant, the whole world is watching. It really was a groundbreaking scenario that happened around that time. Because Hubert Humphrey was planned becoming the president. LBJ stepped down. I'm not going to be surprised that 2024 we might get something similar to this. We didn't hear anything from 2020 except on on Epiphany of 2021, but praise redneck Republicans. But no, but Prologue will segues to Someday, which is this is what I don't like about modern music. Like with all the shit that's been happening now, social justice, Black Lives Matter, there's not that many songs written about it. Well, not that many hit songs. If this was a I'm surprised that no rock and roll band actually really put something out there big time to say, look at what's happening in people. It was up to me. I actually would write songs about what's happening in this world. People are tired of cancel culture. People are tired of what's going on. And this is why albums like this are still legendary and cannot be touched. And other albums cannot hold candle. New protest songs cannot hold candle to these. Or something like that. But yeah, Someday is an interesting song. And the final song is Liberation. Interestingly enough, that ending with the last three songs. So it's like maybe the last side is kind of like freedom. That's what we need. And Terry Kath actually sings in the end of that one. But it wasn't as big as the it again, this is a fantastic album. And this is what made and so again, Chicago was forced to change their name from the Chicago Transit Authority to Chicago, which is fine. They could have called themselves CTA, but at least that was a better name change than Lady Antebellum or what Lady Antebellum and the Dixie Chicks did. The Chicks, Lady A, and Lady A actually got sued for that. Why don't you just either split or call yourselves Lady Karen, because that's what you've done. And the Dixie Chicks, you might as well call them the Karen Chicks. I'm sorry, that those are dumb reasons. And I still think Alan Parsons should sue Lady Karen. Really. But Yeah. And what I can say is, I would not be surprised that, yeah, I was listening to some Canterbury scene, like briefly. I would not be surprised any Canterbury scene bands, which uses progressive jazz and rock at the same time, probably has Chicago's first album in their repertoire because there's some good jazz move moments in there. More likely 40s and 50s style jazz, not well, actually, no, big band style, which is which actually would later become uh, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually see Chicago's first album is Thousand Albums to Listen to Before You Die, and it did start out the jazz rock genre, and which was actually good because Chicago kind of started it, and I would not be surprised that I don't know if Steely Dan ever did tour with Chicago, but it's like Steely Dan kind of perfected jazz rock a little more so because they used more later jazz, like from the 50s and from the 60s, and Chicago was more 40s and 50s, which is a little more different. So I'll be off to shenanigans, and since we're and since Sir Elton John is going to be doing his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, what have you, I don't have the money to buy a ticket, but then again, $200 to $300 for nosebleeds, no. But I will mention my favorite piano player, Billy Joel, and his signature album, sophomore album, Piano Man. Actually, as a matter of fact, for the month of July, I'm going to go with All Americana. I may even do a Christmas album because Christmas in July. So stay tuned for more album and album cover albums. And I'm Paul Mr. Cleveland Warren, living in the city of Cleveland, in the state of Cleveland. In the United States of Cleveland. Bye.